nasemba kulabwali kalwaliro
awo nali njagala nga nakavaayo abasajja tubateeke ku nningi
ate tugenda okuvayo basindikira vidiyo kutubanyinga anyway ensonga how are you olireko kati era
amazima njira eyinza okulongoosebwa
balina okulongoosa kakati bakujjanjabira wanasomera ku esi gyabadde ngaakapapakugete ti wali bomboli
amazima fenna tetwalumanya nze nawulira bulumi nga bususse akati mu mbeera eyo wali nengezaako okunyonnyola omusawo waffe
wenasemba okulaba wali bayitibana bali tebanamusamu lupiira
baali
tebanamusamu lupiira lona
kakati lwaki oluddewo wesijanyambye oluddewo ogenda mu ddwaliro
nedda nduddewo lwakusajjwa kulongoosebwa teri option ndala yonna
genda bakulongoosa
twasooka wano ate kati obyaddamu awo bali eri nabo ne banfuna nti omanyi tandika okunesugiyasugizaamu nga balowooza ebintu biri awo byakusaala natwesera nga sola
omusajja omugezi bayinza omuwandiisa bine nga weetondola okwogera amazima
esigiramwamugale tedenga mukyali
yansindikirako kakati okujjanjabwa musajja ne what next bakujjamba kulongoosa
kakati.
Once again, Williams broadcast with me, Williams. Same shirt. I know some people will be like, Williams. Same set, same shirt. Yes, I am the one. I own this TV station and podcast. I can come anywhere I want to come. But on a serious note, you know, with communication, you feel you want to do another, this story, the other story, and the other one had a clip that I wanted you guys to listen to watch and listen to. And also there is this big story of His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi. What makes it a big story? Is the fact that the person meeting Kyagulanyi has always claimed, or at some point or several times, claimed that the National Unity Platform neglected his request for support in terms of health attention. But he's meeting Robert Kyagulanyi. Definitely, you know, me as a student who is trying to emphasize myself in regards to political science and psychology, I interest myself in such stories which people might see as small dots or drops in an ocean. People might even come and be like, Williams, why do you on your podcast, on your platform, give attention to people like Sammy? And I'll be like, Sammy is just a metaphor. It's just a pipe, a puppet. You see, but for me, I see the politics around Sammy. I welcome you to the Greenland Nonti. That is another to the Williams broadcast. You know, where did Greenland come from? It is an umbrella. It is our umbrella, but that's other stuff. So, welcome once again to Williams broadcast. I am Williams. I understand you people have listened and watched me several years. Me communicating in our local language from central region of Uganda, and that is Luganda, and have enjoyed my communications in Luganda. And through metamorphosis and evolution, I'm getting out of that shell, comfort zone, and try to communicate in Queen's language. The Queen's actually a king now, currently, gave us that English when they colonized us, reaching more people and making this communication better by allowing other people to understand what we normally discuss here. That's why I'm using my basic English from St. Kitts Primary School, from Moreland, or from St. John Bosco Seminary, from Berkeley College of Music in Massachusetts. They have another campus in California. Actually, they're putting up another campus in the DMV. It will probably be in Washington, D.C., Maryland, or in Virginia. My English from Kampala International University. My English from Allison. My English from you guys who always communicate in English and we listen. Yes, TX, how are you? How are you, my sister Nasolo? How are you, my sister Monica? How are you, my buddy, my friend, my tight buddy, Princess Mimi? You know, she's like, whenever I see you talk on YouTube, that is Shabim, Princess Mimi, you make yourself serious and people might think that you're that serious. I'm like, I'm serious, man. I'm serious. William Olandaga, get back to what brought you here today. I appreciate you guys. So today, I'm talking to you about a story that has developed several weeks ago. You might not have heard about Sammy. Let me give you a brief about himself. He's a comedian. There were two. It was a duo. They used to do their comedy in Uganda. They were good at comedy until that wave of 2017 when His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi emerged as the winner of the by-election through a by-election of Chadondo East. Came out a member of parliament. Later on, they had other advocacy for fighting against human rights abuse, against the taxation, the OTT. Later on, after the Arua by-election of Kasiano Wadri, His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi got beaten up, hard hits, blows, knuckles from the operatives of the regime of Jaja Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, claiming that his motorcade, Jaja Museveni's motorcade, was hit by stones by group members or by individuals from the side of His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi. So it is after that scuffle that Robert Kyagulanyi family stood and was like, I am coming as president to stop all this, not that is here, I was about to say, to stop all this brutality of security operative, to stop all this human rights abuse, to fight for the freedom, restore and reinstate the freedom in our motherland. And for God's sake, Pearl of Africa, many people jumped on board, got on board, and one of them is Sammy, who was a comedian and later on chose to be a part of Robert Kyagulanyi's advocacy. He has been vibrant on social media. He had even become a master of propaganda. Propaganda sounds a bad thing, but propaganda is acceptable when it comes to damage control and crisis management, where public relations operates. Propaganda is acceptable. So he had mastered that game. We saw him on plane to different Asian countries, claiming to be eating life, to be enjoying life. We saw him do stuff online. Later on, health challenges hit him to an extent of failing to, that is according to him, Sammy, at paying for health bills. Recently, again, not recently, a year ago, he was arrested, put into detention. When he came out, I'm trying to sum up his profile or this preamble about Sammy. When he came out of prison or detention, he told us stories about how he captured stuff, nasty stuff in detention, while in detention, how the inmates, prisoners, their welfare, their basic life in there, etc., the practices in there. The security operatives or prison officers vis-a-vis or versus the inmates. Until recently, when he told us, came up and was like, guys, I'm facing life challenges. I cannot have basic life needs, the essentials of life. I cannot afford a living in terms of what to eat, what to drink, what to where to put it, to put up in terms of abode or accommodation, that everything of mine that I owned is no more. Again, up to when health issues kicked harder towards himself, he later needed or had to go for an operation. We have seen him on social media crying out loud to whoever cared to listen to his pleas that I want medical attention, I need health care, I need to go for operation. We saw him talk on phone, we listened to him talk on phone with one of the musicians, one Bobi Wine, and other socialites online, and the bloggers mobilized multitudes for him to get some money for welfare, especially at a stage when the cost of living is high in Uganda, just like it is across the globe, for him to get some money. Remember, the people here that raised the money are the people when he was at his best, when it comes to venomous communications is concerned. When he was venomous was when he was big on the internet. He used to splash venomous communications towards people that belonged to the NRM party led by or headed by the General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. And here comes a situation that puts him or remains him with no option than running to the same people. Running to the people, he said they came to his rescue, and Bobi Wine and the rest belonging to the NRM gave him some money. The president of the federation, that is Eddie Kenzo of the Big Talent, gave him some money. I saw the manager of Eddie Kenzo and Big Talent at large giving him 2 million on camera. I saw a TikToker, a live stream on TikTok, that Desh Karisa, a Rama TikToker, mobilizing funds for him. I saw at some point Rama driving Sammy to the hospital. That's when I started hearing him say that he was neglected by several people at a national platform. Remember, the one I'm talking about is supposedly a member of the national platform and the People Power movement, but this time it's like he was neglected, he was duped, he was manipulated and exploited to an extent of losing his all in life. It was like the national platform actually insinuated, he had some pointed claim that they complacently gave up on him. So the other side of the NRM started celebration songs of "We told you, but good thing that now you're in the right hands." The story ran. I was hesitant about a note from me about the same story. All along I've been hesitant to give it attention. Later on, he gave testimonies of how Bobi Wine, one baby Banton of the Gargamel International, who is a supporter, a staunch one of the NRM, helped him here and there, and actually later on told us that Bobi Wine gave him some millions, which were not enough for the operation and treatment after operation. Boo, this morning, after all said and done, and all that I might not be able to come and communicate here, I see the same Sammy, the mighty family, appear in a video clip with His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi and the Secretary General David Lubongoya of the National Platform, seated in the office. Kyagulanyi seated in his boss chair as a president. You know, he's seated and humble. The Secretary General, also the facial expression and body language in a visitor's chair. You know, when a president is sitting or when a boss is in his seat, the visitors are supposed to sit in one of the chairs, left or right. There are those chairs normally put for visitors, and Lubongoya is in the left, in the right chair. Sammy, not Kasule, Sammy the mighty family is welcomed by the President, His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, and the fastest statement from His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, caught himself saying that, "Ngolabye n'obulwadde." How have you suffered the sickness and disease? But you know, there is a difference from a sickness and a disease. A disease triggers a sickness. Definitely it is because of a disease that you have that you'll get a sickness, you'll become sickly, you'll become sick. It is because of a wound on your feet that you'll get insanja of. I have freedom. Nakola TV eno nenjimalirako amagezi. And I love my partners and story, the news reporters like my sister Natsolo Monica and the rest, and TX abanyina okunfuwayo kusente nagamba mu busiru bw'oliko kwatayo $1 at a time. A person who is communicating in English is like kuchiwundu when you're supposed to be in English. So it is the disease always triggering or motivating, inspiring a sickness. So I am seeing it, Kyagulanyi. Let me tell you a story about. I've taken some good time without telling you stories about His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, because whenever I do that, you own me. Now, since you have said good stuff about our president, you are for us. And I'm like, no, I'm for my TV and myself, and whatever I say that is against any regime, it is on my behalf. That's why I keep cautioning you guys, the people, don't do it for Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. If you have this channel communicating your dissatisfaction when it comes to public service and infrastructure, just do it for yourself. It cannot be for anyone else. So whenever I say good stuff, you're like, William, you're ours, that's why we like you, that's why I subscribed. When I say otherwise, you're like, Olega matwagabangala, you're black like a chapel cooking mauledi pira. Why? So Kyagulanyi is humble. He's like, oh, sorry. Actually, the last time I saw you is when you were at the hospital. How are the things moving? And Sammy is like, yes, I've not recovered. I am not fine. Yes, Kyagulanyi responds, because Secretary General and Secretary, the more Kyagulanyi mentions the Secretary General, the Secretary General becomes more humble. Should I say humble? Humble. Yeah, you know, I remember my English. The more Kyagulanyi mentions how Ruwongoya communicated to him about a thing about the Sikh summit, Ruwongoya will become more humble to the boss. You know, I told you the organogram and the human resource suggests that you have to know your boss. That's why Kyagulanyi knows when Ruwongoya is boss, and Ruwongoya knows when Kyagulanyi is boss. Ruwongoya is like, hey, I told you, sir. Yes, because Secretary General told me that you're not in good shape health-wise. Yes, and Kyagulanyi mentions that at some point, yes, but I saw you banning us. And Sammy was like, quick enough. His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu is like, no, that one is not the main issue for this conversation. And to me, as a journalist, analytical enough and opinionated, I'm like, no, it is a big issue. Kyagulanyi, you're just becoming an artist and an administrator at a higher level. Kyagulanyi, you want to tell me that is not a big issue? You remember me and you, we come from Gomba. Kyagulanyi, are you forgetting that from your school we used to beat you several goals and said next season you would beat us? We are from Gomba, Kyagulanyi. We know each other. I have to tie myself on you. We know each other. And the Kyagulanyi was a degree in law administration, who has a degree in music, dance and drama, a diploma in music, dance and drama, who has read the books. I went to his home. I saw a lot of books. He showed me his library. I read through titles of different books, and I was like, Mitembo is not an easy thing. Is not partial to munch kugaya, so to munch to chew and munch kugaya na kumswankula. And Kyagulanyi comes here, humble laugh, assuring Sammy that it is just. Sorry, Sammy. Hey, I saw you burning gas, but that's not the main issue. The main issue is about your medical attention. So how are you now? Now, after that hospital, when I went for the checkup, I wanted to come back and make sure these people. Now, now Sammy insinuates, trying to tell us, with the Lubongo and Kyagulanyi, that after that medical checkup, he wanted to come back and reassure the regime that he is more firm than ever. Kyagulanyi is like, oh, so now what stopped your operation? You were supposed to be operated. What really happened? I could not go for operation because to the hospital for more treatment, because what needed to come first was the operation, and the money for operation was, the Secretary General told me. And Lubonga Isaiah, I told you, sir, Your Excellency, I told you that Sammy needed the medical attention, but he never had the money for operation in order to go for further attention in CSC. And I liked their conversation. You see, Kyagulanyi is like a leader, is like folding hands, becoming subordinate of Sammy. He's like, Sammy, and the Lubongo is coming more humble. And the humbler these ones become, and the Sammy feels at home. It's like, mama, I'm welcome here, which is a good thing to feel and see or look happen. So Sammy is like, see, Kyagulanyi emphasizes the fact that this guy needed medical attention, operation, a procedure to take a place. Facial expressions from the three suggested a lot of stuff. The unpredictability, the fragility, the uncertainties. There was a lot of stuff in that room. Sammy, this uncertainty was about, I'm not certain whether these guys are able to forgive me. The unpredictability from Lubongo is like, Sammy is unpredictable. You cannot tell his next step. But nevertheless, let us just do what we are supposed to do, but we know what he will say when he gets out of this place. The fragility. Kyagulanyi becomes more fragile, or sees a fragile situation where he understands and realizes, acknowledges the fact that whatever Sammy said did damage and dented their political party and the brand. But the situation is fragile to an extent that when you don't take action, when this vulnerable human being is here who needs special attention up to an operation, if you don't take attention and no action, we, the Williams, will come and scrutinize you. Public scrutiny will be at your door, Kyagulanyi. So that's how fragile the situation became. So that's why Kyagulanyi became more. You could see his eyes closing, widely opening, closing a little bit. Kaliso Lubongo, should we? Shouldn't we? Lubongo is like, let us. Kyagulanyi is like, but if we don't, public opinion, the will, at some point in the, ladies and gentlemen, I have seen some 4 people passing here, and I'm like, people power. So let me get to the point. Because at some point I had Robert Kyagulanyi be like, when I saw you, Sammy, say some stuff. When I saw you do something, I was like, Sammy, a wise, a clever boy I've known, omusajja omugezi. So, what you saw Kyagulanyi do like this? Eriiso ly'omukulu was trying to Lubongoya, should we? Lubongoya was like, yes, because we are a political party, you know, we are, I've always said that we are the government in power, no, not in waiting, because we also said that Jaja Museveni took our presidency. So now we are supposed to work as a government, do like a government is supposed to. Kyagulanyi is like, but that Salamba seated in that chair, wanted to change, is like, and Lubongoya is like, it is Enswera, it is not a Salambwa. And Kyagulanyi is like, not in Serona, it is Temanchima. Should we give 5 million to this Temanchima? You know, that's how the situation, that's how fragile the situation was like. But to me, I'll give you 2 things before I end this communication, this broadcast. 1, it was a good move by the national platform, especially from the bosses. David Lewis Lubongoya, the Secretary General, and His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Center. It was a good move. It was a good action taken forward in the right direction of administration, damage control, and crisis management. You know, with crisis management, if you're a student of human resource management, sometimes you need to let staff go. This was a good move. It is not about whether Sammy will remain a national platform member, people power member. No, it is about a person that needs care, that needs attention, that whose life needs to be captured, recaptured from the death, devil's mouth, needs medical attention, is brave enough to come to you even when after the words talked about you that might have dented and damaged your reputation as a political party where you claimed true or false, I'm not sure. It was a good move. And whether it goes back to do whatever it does, you as leaders, as a political party, telling us that you provide the new Uganda to us, that was a good move. Also, politically, it was a good move. You shouldn't have arch enemies. With the politics, there are no arch or cardinal enemies. Nor should we expect friendship forever. No. You, especially a leader at Kyagulanyi's level, you'll expect scenarios of where you're compromised, put in corners of hard walls and rocks. In situations where you have heard and listened to clips by Sammy saying truth about what he says or false about what he says. But again, you're the national unity platform. Kafero yayimba bwati nti mazima n'olaba akakolwa nga kazannyira mu musiri n'okatunuulira n'agamba naye ate oba ono n'akola otya gwe bw'oba olezeka bebi ko bwe kakwonoona otuga katuge mbadde onaaza nozza n'okalera. As a leader, what Kyagulanyi did was the right thing. I know you're fuming online. You're like, no, our president should not come near people like Sammy. Actually, Sammy might be sent from the regime. I understand all that. But again, there are other people on the other side who would have said otherwise if Kyagulanyi chased Sammy away. Politically, I applaud the two. They are soft but hard, just like a chain. Do I have a chain in my neck? How come I don't have a chain? Man, I should have one. A chain is soft until it holds you. When it holds you, actually, let us get it to the cuffs, handcuffs. Mpingo is like So these gentlemen, actually the three of them, the four, in most cases I watch them. I watch Katana, Lubongoya, Senyonyi, and Kyagulanyi. I normally call them Aban when I'm talking to my colleagues, especially Mimi. I'm like, Mimi, because you don't know the students of literature. We have ways of communication, and you're like, open up your channel. I don't want to know a thing. I want to know you, my fans. You know, but I'm trying to drive my point home. I'm like, they are in years where Nelson Mandela, same years that made people like Nelson Mandela. There is this Martin Luther King Jr. Those historical, the Mahatma Gandhi, those years are deadly political. Those years, if you utilize them well, the youth in those years are woke. You remember Jaja Yoweri Kaguta Museveni in those years, the Obotes cried. With the other Museveni, the Obotes cried back up. So these guys are wise, have enough knowledge and wisdom to deal with certain issues. You see, like nobody saying, "Oh, Sammy, you think politically those guys come down, getting on their knees to have Sammy come up? Oh, and to them they are exonerated. Whatever you say, Sammy, after that meeting is upon you." Politically, definitely, I don't think Sammy aspires or plans to have further ambitions politically as an online communicator or stand for any political position, but politically is at crossroads. What he should concentrate on now is his well-being in terms of health matters, issues about himself. He should be slow, take steps slower when it comes to talking about the national platform and the NRM. He has more enemies now than he used to have when he was still decided, leading the side of the national platform and people power. At some point when he came out to spill dirty at this linen of national platform, he gained a little bit of cheap popularity. And people are like, oh, let Kyagulanyi feel it. At least we have attained, grasped one army from himself, Kyagulanyi. People are like, okay, bake it. After bake it, Sammy, you go the other side. People now can never trust you from this side, nor does most of the national unity platform people power trust you, will they? You're on your own now, just like Whitney Houston's song, On My Own. You got to do it on your own. How can you do it on your own? There is a session you should have of meditation, and redefining yourself is key now. You're supposed to get to a corner, meditate, reflect on a lot of stuff. That is if you want to go more years of life as a human being. All that said and done on this channel, whoever is like, I am a foot soldier, if you feel what Kyagulanyi Center advocates for is the thing you would love to, you feel you have to support, be in support of. If you feel Kyagulanyi Center and the colleagues at the National Unity Platform and People Power have good ambitions for your nation, Uganda, if you feel what they sing as a song triggers rhythmic patterns in your cardiovascular, get on the dance floor, grab your weapon, go their way. Yeah, that is too much literature. If you feel what Kyagulanyi Center stands for is what you stand for. Do it, but not for Kyagulanyi, for yourself. Do it for yourself. Don't come with crocodile tears, reading books from the Bible of Lamentations, lamenting, grumbling that Kyagulanyi Sentamu has left me, yet I have been vocal on the internet. No, it shouldn't be for him. It should be for yourself. But again, support from himself as the national platform and people power is not bad when you find challenges. And we have several seen Robert Kyagulanyi Sentamu leading the national platform, getting out of their way to offer a helping hand to several people. We have seen him offer them, national platform, offer scholastic help, materials, fees to different comrades or children of the comrades. That is a good thing. Kyagulanyi Sentamu and the team are at a stage of building up a political party and also farming up, strengthening their foundation as a movement advocating for freedom and human rights reinstatement. Bye. Mundeke. Why?